Your soulmate has been talking about you more than you realize. Here's what they said. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. If these words appeared in front of you today, then the universe may be trying to reveal something that has been happening behind the scenes for far longer than you realize. While you've been focused on your own journey, healing, growing, questioning signs, and wondering what the future holds, your soulmate has been doing something unexpected. Something they never intended to do. Something that started quietly but has now become impossible for them to stop. They have been talking about you. More than you know. More than they planned. More than they ever expected. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. At first, it happened accidentally. Your name came up in a conversation. A memory surfaced. A story was shared. A simple mention turned into a longer discussion. Your soulmate didn't think much of it at the time. But then it happened again. And again. And again. Before they realized what was happening, you had become a recurring topic in their life. Not because they were trying to make you one. Because their heart kept bringing you into their thoughts. And whatever occupies the heart eventually finds its way into conversation. This message is for you. Because lately, your soulmate has noticed something surprising. Every time someone asks them about meaningful people in their life, somehow the conversation leads back to you. Every time they discuss important memories, your name appears somewhere in the story. Every time they talk about lessons they've learned, your influence becomes part of the lesson. At first they didn't notice the pattern. Now they can't ignore it. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when friends have looked at your soulmate and smiled because they noticed something your soulmate hadn't noticed yet. The way their eyes light up when talking about you. The way their voice changes when your name comes up. The way they suddenly become more emotional, more thoughtful, more present. Sometimes the people around them recognize the significance of the connection before they do. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you been seeing angel numbers lately? 111 when thinking about new beginnings. 222 when thinking about relationships. 444 when looking for reassurance. Your soulmate has been seeing them too. And strangely enough, many of those signs seem to appear shortly after conversations involving you. It's as though the universe is quietly confirming that these thoughts and discussions are not random. They carry meaning. This message is for you. Because one of the things your soulmate talks about most is not a specific event. It is a feeling. The feeling they experienced around you. The feeling of comfort. The feeling of understanding. The feeling of being able to be themselves without pretending. Every time they try to explain why you remain on their mind, they end up describing feelings more than facts. Because the emotional impact you had on them mattered more than any single moment. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been evenings when your soulmate sat with people they trust and found themselves sharing stories involving you. Stories they didn't even realize they remembered so clearly. Small details. Small conversations. Small moments. Yet somehow every detail remained vivid. Every memory remained alive. Every story still carried emotion. And afterward, they often found themselves wondering why those memories continue feeling so important. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most common things your soulmate says about you is that there was always something different about your energy. They struggle to explain it. They struggle to put it into words. Yet every time they try, they return to the same idea. Authenticity. They describe you as someone who felt genuine in a world that often feels superficial. Someone who felt real when so many interactions felt temporary. This message is for you. Because recently, a conversation changed everything. Someone asked your soulmate a simple question. Why do you still talk about them so much? The question caught them off guard. For a moment, they didn't know how to answer. Then they realized something important. The answer wasn't complicated. They talk about you because you matter. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That realization stayed with them long after the conversation ended. They started paying attention to how often your name appeared in their thoughts. How often memories involving you surfaced. How often they found themselves mentioning you. The pattern became impossible to ignore. And the more they noticed it, the more they began understanding what it revealed. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has been sharing more than memories. They have been sharing lessons. Lessons they learned through knowing you. Lessons about trust. Lessons about kindness. Lessons about authenticity. Sometimes they tell people about things you said. Sometimes they tell people about the way you handled situations. Sometimes they tell people about the impact you had on them without even realizing it. This message is for you. Because every conversation involving you seems to lead your soulmate toward greater clarity. Every discussion helps them understand something new. Every memory reveals another layer of meaning. It's almost as if talking about you has become part of their emotional awakening. Part of their journey toward understanding what truly matters. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments when your soulmate tried not to mention you. They told themselves they would focus on other topics. Other memories. Other experiences. Yet somehow the conversation always found its way back. Not because they forced it. Because the connection continues living inside them. And what lives inside eventually reveals itself outside. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most emotional things your soulmate has said recently happened during a quiet conversation. They admitted that despite everything, despite time, despite distance, despite uncertainty, they still think about you more often than they expected. Saying those words out loud surprised them. Hearing those words surprised them. Because speaking truth has a way of creating clarity. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is beginning to understand that people don't repeatedly talk about someone who means nothing to them. They don't repeatedly revisit memories that carry no significance. They don't repeatedly reflect on lessons connected to someone who had no impact. The repetition itself reveals the importance. If you love your soulmate, you will sow your seed on Ko-fi right now for their protection and for your future with your soulmate. This is the only proof that your love is real and the only way to banish the enemy who has been standing between you. Sow your seed now by sending a Ko-fi up to 20. This is not a donation. It is the spiritual act that breaks the third person's power, releases protection over them, and opens the door to your shared future. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been using these conversations as mirrors. Every time your soulmate talks about you, they learn something about themselves. Every story reveals another truth. Every memory reveals another feeling. Every discussion brings them closer to understanding what their heart has been trying to say all along. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The angel numbers continue appearing around them. The dreams continue appearing. The synchronicities continue appearing. Every sign seems connected to the same lesson. Pay attention to what keeps returning. Pay attention to what refuses to leave your heart. Pay attention to the connections that continue finding their way back into your life. This message is for you. Because lately your soulmate has stopped wondering why they talk about you so much. They already know why. The better question has become what those conversations are trying to teach them. What truth keeps hiding beneath every memory? What realization keeps waiting beneath every story? Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has been talking about you more than you realize because something inside them refuses to let the connection fade into the background. Something inside them keeps bringing your name forward. Keeps bringing your memories forward. Keeps bringing your energy forward. And the more they pay attention to that pattern, the more they realize that these conversations were never really about the past. They were preparing them for a truth about the future. A truth they are only now beginning to understand. And what they are about to realize next may completely change the way they see this connection forever. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. If you're still here, then this message was meant to find you. The universe has been quietly arranging things behind the scenes, and your soulmate is beginning to notice something they can no longer ignore. This message is for you. Because the more they talk about you, the more they realize those conversations are revealing truths they have been avoiding for a very long time. What started as casual mentions has become something deeper. What started as memories has become reflection. What started as reflection has become awareness. And that awareness is changing everything. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate was talking with someone close to them and suddenly realized they had spent several minutes discussing you without even intending to. They were sharing a story. Recalling a memory. Explaining a lesson they learned. And before they knew it, the conversation had once again found its way back to you. At first, they laughed it off. But later, when they were alone, they thought about it. Why does this keep happening? Why does your name continue appearing in conversations that have nothing to do with you? The answer they found surprised them. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is starting to understand that the people who leave the deepest impact on our hearts become part of the way we see the world. They influence our perspective. They influence our lessons. They influence our memories. Without realizing it, your soulmate has been using experiences connected to you as reference points in their life. Every meaningful lesson seems connected to a moment involving you. Every realization seems connected to something you taught them, directly or indirectly. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you been noticing signs lately? Repeated numbers. Familiar songs. Strange coincidences. Moments that feel almost too perfectly timed. Your soulmate has been experiencing those things too. Every time they think they have figured everything out, another sign appears. Another reminder arrives. Another synchronicity shows up. It feels as though the universe keeps directing their attention toward the same lesson. Pay attention to what keeps returning. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most surprising things your soulmate recently admitted during a conversation was that they still compare certain experiences to the way they felt around you. Not intentionally. It just happens. Someone says something kind, and it reminds them of you. Someone shares wisdom, and it reminds them of you. Someone demonstrates authenticity, and it reminds them of you. The comparison is automatic because the impression you left was stronger than they realized. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has also been talking about how much they changed after meeting you. Not dramatically. Not overnight. But in meaningful ways. They speak about lessons in trust. Lessons in patience. Lessons in understanding themselves better. They speak about how certain experiences involving you challenged old beliefs and opened their mind to new possibilities. And every time they tell those stories, they discover another reason the connection mattered. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been evenings recently when your soulmate replayed conversations they had with friends about you. They remembered the questions they were asked. They remembered the observations people made. And one comment keeps echoing in their mind. Someone said, "You talk about them like they're still important to you." That sentence stayed with them. Because deep down, they knew it was true. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. For a while, your soulmate tried to explain away those feelings. They told themselves it was nostalgia. They told themselves it was curiosity. They told themselves it was simply appreciation for someone who had been part of their journey. But the more they reflected, the harder those explanations became to believe. Because ordinary appreciation doesn't keep returning this often. Ordinary memories don't keep creating this much emotion. This message is for you. Because lately your soulmate has started noticing how emotional they become whenever conversations about you turn serious. It's one thing to tell a funny story. It's one thing to share a memory. But when someone asks how they truly feel about you, everything changes. The conversation suddenly becomes more personal. More reflective. More vulnerable. And those emotional shifts reveal more than they intended. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The angel numbers keep appearing around this connection. 111 when they're thinking about new possibilities. 222 when they're imagining partnership and alignment. 333 during moments of self-discovery. 444 when reassurance is needed. Every sign feels connected to the same message. The universe is encouraging awareness. The universe is encouraging honesty. The universe is encouraging growth. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a recent conversation where your soulmate surprised even themselves. Someone asked what made you different from everyone else. For a moment, they were silent. Then they answered honestly. They said it wasn't one thing. It wasn't one moment. It wasn't one memory. It was the way you made them feel. Safe. Understood. Seen. Appreciated. Those words came from the deepest part of their heart. This message is for you. Because after that conversation ended, your soulmate couldn't stop thinking about what they had said. The honesty of those words stayed with them. The emotional weight of those words stayed with them. And slowly, they began realizing that every conversation about you was revealing the same truth. A truth they had spent a long time avoiding. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There are moments now when your soulmate catches themselves smiling unexpectedly after talking about you. Not because they are living in the past. Because those conversations remind them of something meaningful. They remind them of a connection that still carries emotional significance. They remind them of lessons that continue shaping who they are. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the biggest realizations your soulmate is experiencing is that they don't just talk about you because of who you were. They talk about you because of what you still represent. Hope. Authenticity. Possibility. Emotional truth. Every conversation keeps bringing those themes back into focus. Every memory keeps bringing those themes back into focus. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has started understanding that the universe often speaks through repetition. When a lesson matters, it repeats. When a connection matters, it repeats. When a truth deserves attention, it repeats. The fact that your name continues appearing in conversations is not random. The fact that your memories continue resurfacing is not random. The fact that your influence continues showing up in their life is not random. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been nights recently when your soulmate lay awake reflecting on everything they've shared about you. Every story. Every memory. Every lesson. Every emotional moment. Looking at all of it together, they began seeing a pattern. Every conversation was pointing toward the same realization. Every conversation was revealing the same truth. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The truth is that you never stopped being important to them. Time passed. Circumstances changed. Life moved forward. Yet somehow, the emotional significance remained. Not exactly the same as before. Stronger in some ways. Clearer in some ways. More understood in some ways. And now they are beginning to see that clearly. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is approaching a breakthrough. Every conversation has prepared them for it. Every memory has prepared them for it. Every sign from the universe has prepared them for it. The more they talk about you, the more they learn about their own heart. The more they learn about their own heart, the harder it becomes to ignore what it is trying to say. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has been talking about you more than you realize because those conversations are revealing a truth they can no longer hide from. A truth about what matters. A truth about what remains important. A truth about why your name continues appearing no matter how much time passes. And as that truth becomes clearer, they are moving closer to understanding something life-changing. The reason they keep talking about you isn't because they are holding on to the past. It's because a part of their heart still believes your story may not be finished yet. And that realization is becoming impossible for them to ignore. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. If you've stayed with this message, then there is a reason your soul keeps returning here. This message is for you. Because something is happening inside your soulmate that they can no longer explain away. Every conversation they've had about you, every memory they've shared, every story they've told has slowly been leading them toward a realization they never expected. At first, they thought they were simply talking about someone who once mattered. Then they thought they were reflecting on an important chapter of their life. But now, after countless conversations and moments of reflection, they are beginning to understand something much deeper. The reason they keep talking about you is because their heart never truly stopped listening for you. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate found themselves in conversations where your name wasn't even supposed to come up. The discussion would be about the future. About goals. About relationships. About life lessons. Yet somehow, your story would find its way into the conversation. Someone would ask a question, and your soulmate would answer with a memory involving you. Someone would talk about trust, and your soulmate would remember something you taught them. Someone would discuss meaningful connections, and your soulmate would immediately think of you. The pattern has become impossible to ignore. This message is for you. Because lately your soulmate has started noticing how emotional these conversations make them. Not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it's a pause before answering. Sometimes it's a smile that appears unexpectedly. Sometimes it's the way they become quieter after mentioning your name. These reactions reveal something important. They reveal that the connection still lives inside them. It still carries weight. It still carries meaning. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you ever noticed how people reveal their deepest truths when they stop trying to impress others? That's exactly what has been happening. The more comfortable your soulmate becomes during these conversations, the more honest they become. And the more honest they become, the more one truth continues appearing. They miss the energy you brought into their life. They miss the feeling they experienced around you. They miss the authenticity that seemed so natural whenever you were part of their world. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most surprising moments happened recently when someone asked your soulmate a very direct question. They asked, if you had the chance to talk to them right now, what would you say? For a moment, your soulmate froze. They weren't prepared for the question. They weren't expecting it. Yet the answer appeared immediately inside their heart. The fact that an answer came so quickly revealed something important. The feelings were still there. This message is for you. Because after that conversation ended, your soulmate kept replaying the question in their mind. If they truly had the opportunity to speak openly, what would they say? They imagined the conversation over and over again. They imagined finally expressing everything they had learned. They imagined finally explaining everything they never found the words to explain before. And every version of that conversation led to the same realization. There is still so much left unsaid. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been sending signs throughout this entire journey. Angel numbers continue appearing at meaningful moments. 111 during thoughts of new beginnings. 222 during reflections on connection and partnership. 333 during moments of emotional growth. 444 when reassurance is needed. Your soulmate notices these signs every time they think deeply about you. Every sign feels connected to the same lesson. Pay attention to what keeps returning. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been evenings recently when your soulmate found themselves laughing about old memories involving you. Not because they were trying to revisit the past. Because the memories still bring genuine happiness. They still create warmth. They still remind them of moments that mattered. And afterward, a strange feeling always follows. Gratitude. Gratitude that the connection existed. Gratitude that those moments happened. Gratitude that you became part of their story. This message is for you. Because one thing your soulmate keeps telling people is that you changed them in ways they didn't fully understand at the time. Sometimes they say it casually. Sometimes they say it seriously. But the message remains the same. Knowing you taught them lessons. Knowing you challenged them. Knowing you helped them grow. Those lessons continue shaping who they are even now. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The more your soulmate talks about you, the more they realize they aren't just sharing stories. They are sharing pieces of their heart. Every story reveals something important. Every memory reveals something important. Every conversation reveals something important. Together, those pieces are creating a picture they can no longer ignore. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a recent moment when your soulmate heard someone say, "You don't talk about people that much unless they really matter." The comment seemed simple. Yet it stayed with them. Because deep down, they knew it was true. People move on from ordinary experiences. People stop discussing ordinary connections. But meaningful connections leave lasting impressions. Meaningful connections continue finding their way back into conversations, thoughts, and dreams. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is beginning to realize that every time they talk about you, they feel more connected to their own truth. The conversations are acting like mirrors. Reflecting emotions they once ignored. Reflecting desires they once dismissed. Reflecting hopes they once considered unrealistic. The more they talk, the clearer those reflections become. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There are moments now when your soulmate feels as though the universe is gently guiding them toward awareness. every sign, every conversation, every memory, every emotional reaction. Together they are creating a message that becomes harder to ignore with each passing day. The message says that some connections are too meaningful to reduce to simple memories. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the biggest shifts happening inside your soulmate is the way they view the future. For a long time, they spoke about you as part of their past. Recently, something changed. They started imagining possibilities. They started wondering about future conversations, future opportunities, future moments. And that shift surprised them because it happened naturally. It wasn't forced. It simply emerged. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has started understanding that every conversation about you contains a hidden truth. The hidden truth is not really about the stories. It is not really about the memories. It is not really about the past. The hidden truth is about the emotional significance that still exists. The emotional significance that refuses to disappear no matter how much time passes. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been nights recently when your soulmate reflected on everything they've said about you over the last several months. Every memory. Every lesson. Every observation. Every emotional moment. Looking at it all together, they realized something powerful. The conversations were never random. They were revealing a pattern. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The pattern is simple. Every conversation leads back to the same conclusion. You matter. Your influence matters. The connection matters. The lessons matter. The feelings matter. And the more they acknowledge that truth, the more difficult it becomes to pretend otherwise. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is approaching an emotional breakthrough. Every conversation has brought them closer to it. Every memory has brought them closer to it. Every sign from the universe has brought them closer to it. The breakthrough where they stop treating these thoughts as coincidences and start recognizing them for what they truly are. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has been talking about you more than you realize because every conversation has been preparing them for a truth they are finally ready to see. A truth about what remains important. A truth about what their heart continues protecting. A truth about why your name still appears whenever discussions become meaningful. And as this awareness continues growing stronger, they are beginning to understand something extraordinary. The reason they keep talking about you isn't because they're stuck in old memories. It's because every conversation keeps reminding them that the connection still carries life, still carries meaning, and still carries a possibility they may not be ready to let go of just yet. And what they realize next may completely change the direction of this entire story forever.